I haven't watched Game of Thrones in a very long time, almost a decade at this point. Despite it being one of my favorite shows once upon a time, I unfortunately just got really burnt out of the series. It honestly seemed as though nothing from the Game of Thrones universe would ever make me consider coming back to the series ever again. That is, until I saw the trailer for HBO's newly released TV series this year, adapting George R.R. Martin's novella series Tales of Dunk and Egg. My name is Andre, and let's talk about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Before jumping into the review, major spoiler warning for the entirety of Season 1, so please make sure you're done watching the whole show before you continue watching this video. Getting straight to the point, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is absolutely brilliant. Specifically, I love that it subverts our expectations of what a TV show set in the awful, grotesque, and morally reprehensible world of Westeros is supposed to feel like, to be like. And trust me, this show will get as dark, gritty, and gory as it needs to be. Oh my god! Holy
Oh my god.
But for the most part, if I had to pick one word to describe it, it's jovial. If you're not familiar, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms follows the adventures of our main character, Sir Duncan the Tall, or more commonly known as Dunk. A hedge knight who previously served as a squire under Sir Arlen of Pennytree. After Sir Arlen's death, Dunk ventures into the Ashford Meadow, a quaint yet bustling little town where the entirety of Season 1 takes place. From the get-go, I never would have expected this to be funny. Me laughing at a Game of Thrones show? This could not be so. I mean, the beginning of the first episode literally does a fake-out title song, with Dunk taking a fat shit right after it. And much of that humor comes with how Dunk and his squire Egg are characterized. First of all, Dunk and Egg are some hilariously creative names for grimdark fantasy, kinda like their D&D joke player characters, and I mean that in the best way possible. Dunk is this giant socially awkward goofball whose lack of etiquette and education gets himself in all sorts of trouble.
You must forgive my brother, sir. His sons went astray on the way here, and he fears for them.
I trust they will not be found dead.
Egg, on the other hand, is this puny little runt with a big mouth who's clearly way too smart for his own good. Both of them serve as the lifeblood of what makes this show so compelling, not only because their heavily juxtaposing personalities lead to some really funny banter and interactions, but also because they both share something important: a big heart. The fact that A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is also a prequel gives our main characters inherent plot armor, helping us enjoy the show on a more casual level and letting us appreciate its cozy and heartwarming scenes without constant fear of our favorite characters kicking the bucket at any given moment.
The boys used to call me Damsel too tall.
You're not too tall. I mean, you're just right for...
For?
Peter Claffey and Dexter Sol Ansel, the actors for Dunk and Egg respectively, did an amazing job at portraying how morally good people struggle, and really suffer, to live in an inherently immoral world, and their challenges directly relate to the show's main thematic question: what does it mean to be a true knight? To answer this question, you need to understand the difference between a landed knight and a hedge knight. A landed knight is a knight of nobility, pledging his fealty to a liege lord. Hedge knights, on the other hand, are vagabonds who have no lord to serve, no land to call home.
It's a hedge knight, ain't it?
What?
It's like a knight, but sadder.
In a detestable world where knighthood is more so a status symbol for wealth, power, and family lineage, Dunk strives to be a true knight who upholds the sacred oaths that all knights were meant to follow.
Don't all knights make the same oath? To protect the innocent?
However, despite his near unwavering commitment, Dunk is constantly being challenged on his idea of knighthood, and it constantly stirs all of his worries and insecurities. For one, he looks like shit, and he reeks like shit. Being a landed knight carries a level of prestige that Dunk doesn't have, and that prestige comes with distinct armor, kinda like a sports jersey to rep for your own team. Dunk, on the other hand, has no team, meaning he has no armor of his own. Sure, he has his beloved horses to call himself a knight, but the rest of what he has includes a rusted sword and a worn down shield, the absolute bare minimum.
Well, I'm no farmer.
Yet you've come dressed as one.
To me, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is an underdog story. Nearly everyone Dunk comes across judges him for how he looks and carries himself. He's belittled and underestimated, and this makes him an absolute joy to watch and root for throughout the narrative, especially when he finally succeeds. After all, he's someone who's desperate to prove himself, and he has nothing but his own pride to lose. The dramatic irony here is that there is no truer knight in all of Ashford Meadow than Dunk, a realization that is completely lost to him because of how insecure he is of himself. But Egg was the very first person to recognize his true qualities. Egg doesn't see a poor hulking bastard moping around aimlessly like everyone else does. Instead, he sees Dunk for who he really is, and his detest for wicked nobles only makes him become drawn to Dunk so much more. There's just something special about watching two characters who are simply trying to do good in a story, and that's what I appreciate the most about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, I'm not saying that Dunk and Egg are one-dimensional, goody-two-shoes characters. In truth, their morality is constantly being challenged, forced to consider whether being good is worth all the sacrifices that they may have to pay. There are even key moments where Dunk is unsure if doing the good thing is the right thing to do, and regardless of his intentions, he ends up doing things that he regrets throughout the story.
He's a good boy. Good squire. And he meant no harm. I know that now.
One need not intend harm to do it.
Furthermore, it's not as simple as do the good thing, get a happy ending like it may sound like, especially when doing the morally correct thing is often the way harder decision in such a brutal and seemingly lawless world at times, and there is always a cost for taking the high road. In all, I can't get enough of this tiny little found family. Dunk and Egg are amazing in their own unique ways. They're comedic, endearing, and they support and trust each other so much that it makes this such a wholesome-ass show to enjoy. Can we also take a moment and really appreciate how excellent the acting is in the show? Across the board, every single character has their own charm, whether they're meant to be likable or not. Aside from Dunk and Egg, there are three notable side characters I want to highlight from Season 1. The first being Lionel Baratheon. We love the quintessential chaotic neutral character, the kind of wildcard who doesn't have a personal stake in the plot, but rather is in it for the love of the game. He's like the friend you like to party and hang out with, bringing good vibes all around, and he might even back you up when times get tough. But he's definitely not the close friend you come to for deep talks or emotional support.
So what should I do?
I don't know. I'm really quite drunk.
On the other side of the spectrum, Aeron Targaryen is the most Game of Thrones-ass character in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. He's a sadistic, entitled prick who rides on the coattails of his family name. He abuses his power, is secretly detested by his own kin, and has a very punchable face, meaning he's perfectly suited to be the main antagonist of the season. Getting his comeuppance in the form of his junk getting smashed in by Dunk was cathartic and comedic all at the same time.
Still going.
Oh, he's not getting up, he's not getting up.
The cock shot.
Despite occurring at the climactic fight of the entire season, it's safe to say that Aeron won't be climaxing anytime soon. Last but certainly not least, Baelor Targaryen is the undisputed GOAT of the entire season. We meet Baelor in episode 2, being the only person with power and influence to actually give Dunk not only the benefit of the doubt, but also the respect he deserves as a fellow knight. Maybe he pities Dunk, sure, but he doesn't write him off like many other people, and he gives him the chance to make a name for himself, the very thing Dunk has been begging for this entire time. Furthermore, he serves as an ideal for Dunk, a landed knight who upholds oaths on which he swore, instead of being a mindless servant to his family name. It's no surprise that my favorite moment of the show, and I imagine it's probably many others, is when Dunk needs one more knight to help him fight in the Trial of Seven, and when all hope seemed lost, Baelor motherfucking Targaryen steps up to the plate.
Oh, never mind.
Oh shit.
Oh, what?
Yo.
Oh my god.
Targaryen on Targaryen violence. Let's go.
Wow, I love this.
Nevertheless, I did notice there was a distinct lack of important female characters in the show. Tenzel kind of just exists as a plot device for Dunk to protect the Damsel in distress.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So, okay, I'm gonna stop with the dad jokes. In other words, Tenzel makes the conflict of the show personal for Dunk, putting himself in Ariane's crosshairs and making us even more invested in the narrative, but it pretty much has nothing to do with her character for the rest of the season. There's also Raymond's wife as a recurring side character, but that's really it. It's not really a criticism of the show per se, just an observation worth noting that this was a pretty big sausage party, with a large majority of the named characters relevant to the plot being men. But as much as I love A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, it definitely still has its flaws. One semi-criticism I have for this season is that it's too short. Not only are there 6 episodes in the entirety of season 1, each episode is like 30-something minutes. Now, I understand that the reason it's so short is because it's adapting a novella, and its short runtime might even be a testament of how closely the showrunners are sticking to the source material and making it as true to the books as possible. Obviously, I much prefer this over anything that's prolonged for the sake of dragging things out, but part of me still wishes it was longer. Just a tad bit.
That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what she said.
My main criticism of the show, though, is the placement of the flashback sequence in episode 5. I don't have any actual problems with the backstory itself, it's pretty run-of-the-mill if you ask me, but the worst part of it is that we're left off with a cliffhanger at the end of episode 4. For a show with such a limited runtime, you can't just blue ball your audience right before the climactic fight of the entire season, especially for people like me who were following the show as the episodes came out week by week.
No.
That was so short. Dude, I'm so mad. Why didn't we wait?
It's one of those things where I just kept thinking about how excited I was for the Trial of Seven that it kind of diminished the emotional weight of the flashback. And I wonder if sprinkling the flashback throughout the season, or even putting it after the Trial of Seven, would have made the pacing of the show better. But hey, hindsight is 20/20, am I right? In conclusion, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is incredibly solid. And honestly, I'm pulling a lot of teeth just trying to find bad things about it and failing miserably. So it goes to show how good this really is. From the acting to the set design to its wonderful character writing and short but closely knit narrative, there's just so much to love in this concisely compelling story. That's why I'm giving A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms a 9.5 out of 10.
Suppose we could go anywhere in the Seven Kingdoms, though I've never been to Dublin.
There are 9 kingdoms, sir.
I guess I gotta change the title of the second season. Nah.
Bruh.
By the way, I love how wholesome the entire cast is on set, and they've been all over my social media feed since the show's release. I haven't been this parasocial with actors in a while, but legitimately, the marketing for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms has been infesting my entire YouTube and Instagram algorithm for a hot minute. And trust me, I am not complaining. As short as the season was, I'm glad that Season 2 has already been confirmed for next year, and I'm excited to see what's next in the adventures of Dunk and Egg. Of course, I'll be here to review Season 2 as soon as it comes out, so if you want to stay tuned for the next review when that happens, please click that subscribe button, and while we're at it, make sure you hit the like button and hype the video if you're on mobile and want to support the channel. That's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. We meet Baylor in episode... Did I say Baylor? Like the fucking college? The fuck?
Sir Lionel is knighting Raymond Fossaway. We will fight you 6 against 7.
6, 7.